Hey everyone, Sandy here, and I am here for my 7th video on the 7th of July for the Video a Day Challenge here on Facebook. And today I'm also going to be doing a little bit of Christmas in July, as I'm going to scrapbook this 8x10 photo of our Christmas tree and the presents around it. This is going to be like kind of the opening page, introducing Christmas in my chronological album. I went and pulled a little bit of Christmas stuff out, which isn't too hard because I keep all my Christmas stuff together. I have like a paper bin that sorts all the paper, and then all the embellishments are in a bin by itself. So I have these Merry and Bright tags from Fancy Pants. I have some Merry and Bright ephemera, also from Fancy Pants. I have the evergreen wooden die cuts from Basic Gray. I couldn't tell you who these gold border stickers are from. Have a 6x6 gold glitter sheet, some red sequin ribbon from Target's Dollar Spot, some baker's twine, some of this kind of like snow looking mesh type stuff. I've got some of these stars. I believe these are the stars left over from Chamel's number thickers for her Christmas Magic collection. I believe. I might be wrong. Oh, not using those. They just kind of snuck in there. I have a couple mini word stickers from Simple Stories. As you can see, I've only used one. Pulled a couple scraps of paper that I had lying about. I also pulled these 3 papers. It's like a white snowflake on a red background. Also have music, Christmas music, and then this border sheet. And I'm not exactly sure which collection this came from, but these are from a Michael's Christmas paper pad. So let's get started and see what we can do. So I started out by matting my 8x10 photo on that white snowflake paper, and I'm just using some distress ink to go around the edges. I want it to pop up a little bit against that lyric, Christmas lyric paper on the bottom. And I'm just trying to figure out, I'm going to cover up most of this lyric paper, but I'm just trying to figure out where exactly I want these pieces to go. And the little scraps that I pulled out were definitely not long enough to span behind the 8x10 photo. So all I'm doing is cheating. I am cutting the cardstock a little bit and just separating it underneath the 8x10 photo. And I just used that 8x10 photo across there so that it would be a straight line there, because I was too lazy to walk over to the other side of the room and grab the ruler. I'm inking all of the edges here as well. And I really like this gray and white paper, and I have had it in my stash forever. So I just go ahead and do the same, cheat with that one. This one, both sides of the paper are a little bit farther out than that red cardstock. And then I'm just trying to figure out with this cut apart border paper which ones I want to use on the page. I definitely didn't want to use the reindeer because if I put them horizontally across the page, they would basically be lying down, and that's not really what I wanted to go for. So I just go ahead and ink the edges of this as well. And I just go ahead and commit to that. And that spans across the entire page. However, there's just this little teeny little bit right there that didn't line up, so I just trimmed that off real quick. So, like I said, just about all of that music and lyric paper is covered up, but I'm okay with that. And I pulled out my tags and that little journaling card, and I thought for sure that I was going to use that on this layout. Didn't make it. But I did pull out these Fancy Pants tags, and I pull out 2 of them. They do have some gold details on them. So I decided to go with the gold. Now, at first, I do my thing where I have banners that are sticking out underneath of something, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that it's going to work. And I add the little acrylic bow, and I'm super happy with this. I'm thinking it looks cute. I'm going to add something in that frame. You know, it's just going to be great. That little cluster does not end up looking like that at all. So I pull out the Merry and Bright die cuts, and I'm just pulling a little bit out. I don't want a lot of embellishment on this page because the background is so busy with all that paper, and this is kind of like the opening page for 2016 Christmas. So I want kind of the photo to be the focus. And I'm just messing around and pulling out a couple little things that I, try out. Like, then don't like, and then things don't make it onto the layout. Like that little traditions thing right there. I really liked that. Thought it was going to make it onto the layout. It didn't. I even prepped it, and then when I was cleaning up my desk afterwards, I realized that it wasn't on there. It had flipped over on the desk, and there it was. But I'm happy with the layout the way it is without that little piece on there. So I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm not going to go back now and put it on. I do add this little gold sticker. They kind of look like pearls, flat pearls, to that border strip just to jazz it up just a little bit. It was looking kind of flat, and even though I don't want this page super embellished and with like super bumpy or anything, I just want it to look just a little bit more exciting than it was. So I grabbed that mesh, and it's too thick for what I want to do. I want it to just go across the bottom of the paper where all the carpet is, and there's kind of nothing there. And I'm debating on whether or not to put it all the way across the page or just over top the photo. And I end up going just over top the photo. So I grabbed my little tiny attacher here. And on this one, I staple just through everything, including the background. And then over on this side, I just staple through the matted photo. However, my tiny attacher decides to jam. So I take a minute to mess with it, and then I get frustrated with it, and I just put it down because I really want to get it on my page. So I trim off that little mesh. And I gotta say, the whole time I was scrapbooking this page, I had Christmas carols running through my head. So I think I'm going to be letting my family in on that over the next couple days, because once a song gets stuck in my head, it gets stuck in my head. Okay, so I'm just going to mess with this twine a little bit and decide what I want to do. And then I decide that I need my tiny attacher back, so I stopped the camera there and fixed it, and that's why I was so excited. I was showing you like thumbs up. I was able to get it unjammed. And I'm just finagling around these little pieces, and there was this little white kind of paper piece that was sticking out of that gold banner, and I just needed to get it off of there. I thought I was going to do it all like cool looking and do it with my scissors. That didn't really work, so I just ended up ripping it off the back. You gotta do what you gotta do when you're scrapbooking, man. You know, make things happen. So out of frame is where I am making this little cluster into one piece, and then I grab some pop dots or foam squares. And those foam squares that I just put down in the center, they were not cut through all the way. Like, they were stuck together as two, so I just left it. Wasn't even going to mess with it. And so I just ink some little edges, put it back in place where I like it, and I'm liking that little banner there. Like I said, though, it doesn't make it. It comes right off. All this fiddle farting around with that little teeny banner I'm trying to work on, and it doesn't even make it on the layout. But I decide that I'm going to add some twine. My original plan was just to put the twine across that mesh paper, or mesh paper. It's just kind of mesh. It's not really paper. But I decide not to do that, and I decide to do a little bit of a curly Q. This one gave me a little bit of a fit. this is some really thin baker's twine. I got it, I don't know, out of the dollar section of one of the craft stores. So it's a little bit thinner and weaker than other baker's twine that I've used. So this one gave me just a tad bit of a fit. I even grabbed my dot runner and tried to like put some adhesive on it, but it just kind of goes eh. Like it lays its head down and goes eh. You totally can't see me doing a head movement and tongue sticking out of my mouth right now when I was doing that, but hopefully you can imagine what a eh looks like. Okay, so I think I get that situated, and that little gold tap's going to go at the top, and the only thing I'm going to put up there is the date. And I'm thinking stamps in my head while I'm doing it, but it doesn't happen that way because I put the twine on first before I stamp it. And that twine, oh my goodness, you guys, that twine is one big naughty mess. I can't even explain to you. I just, someone, like I said, it's a cheaper twine, and it just isn't as thick and as quality as the other ones, and it just knots up. I probably could, you know, wrap it around something and keep it nicely, but honestly, I just grab and cut. So one day I'm going to have all these teeny little pieces of twine in the bottom of the bag that I keep it in. I know that's going to happen. So I decide to back this frame with that glitter paper. So it's definitely some gold on gold. But I'm okay with that. At Christmas time, especially at Christmas time, it's okay to get sparkly and gold and silver and all the metallics. So yeah, like go for it. Alrighty. So now I am messing with the tags, and I decided that I didn't want that white thread in the tags. I wanted it to match the twine that I had going on there, so that's why I did that. And see, the tags are actually on top of the frame now instead of doing that little banner thing that I like to do on the bottom. And I'm just trying to figure out where exactly I want that frame to go. I didn't want to cover up all of the Christmas village in the picture that's over there, because the Christmas village, I mean, it's not fancy or anything, but it's a huge part of our Christmas every year. And there's my head hitting the camera. I think I've hit the camera every day for the past 4 days. One day I'll figure out the way not to hit my head. So I use the little dot runner to make the twine happen. And here's where I realized that I should have stamped 2016 up there before I put that twine down. And my title is going to be really simple, and I'm using these thickers. It's just going to say joy, because that's Christmas is joy to me. Like, I love Christmas so much. And then when I write 2016, I actually write 206 and forget the 1, so I just slap that 1 in there real quick. And then there it is. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Merry Christmas in July, and I will see you guys tomorrow with a new video. Bye.